I know the right honourable gentleman finds it disobliging to hear it, but at the moment inflation's down, interest rates are down, unemployment is down, investments are up, exports are up, production is up, and nowhere across the European Union, Madam Speaker, can the right honourable gentleman find any other country whose leader could make that claim in their parliament.
Welcome to episode 10 of the Gristle Digest, the only weekly podcast endorsed by Maoist and Naxalite rebels and also right-wing American super PACs.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that's kind of, I mean, it's partly true, to be honest, given some of the comments I see out there. Today is the 5th of June. My name is Orson and I'm joined as ever by my good friend Paul Moss. How's it going, Paul?
It is going. It's going. That's the important thing. It's going pretty well, mate. Going pretty well.
That is the important thing. Top stories this week, Paul.
Ooh, let's do it.
First story. It's nonsense. Nonsense on stilts. John Major done murk them leave.
That is beef fun.
John Major launched into a ferocious attack on the Leave campaign on this morning's Andrew Marr show, suggesting that several of its key figures were knowingly misleading people. Sir John went on to label the Leave campaign's ideals in immigration as nonsense. Mm-hmm. It's nonsense on stilts. In what was arguably the most impassioned speech ever given by Sir John, well, at least since the morning he pleaded with Enweed at a curry for her to bugger off out of his house as his wife was home with a Jew of with her coterie of WY buddies, and you don't want to piss them off.
No way.
Many were left with thinking that if only Sir Mage had been a bit more like this when he was in office, he wouldn't have made such an easy target for spitting image style mockery. But next story, don't stand next to a radiator or you could end up broke. Bank of England reveals Britain's new fivers. The Bank of England has revealed its new polymer-based £5 note this week, which is due to go into circulation in September this year. The new £5 note has dispensed with the traditional cotton paper normally used to make currency in Britain in favour of a new plastic polymer that is supposedly far more resistant to damage than shitty paper money. Paper money. I can't even say it. Paper money.
Paper money.
Paper money.
Paper money.
The Bank of England has purported to have drenched the new notes in red wine, baked them in an oven, and washed them in a washing machine at 90 degrees Celsius with Persil.
Jesus, it sounds like a Daz advert or something, doesn't it? The little challenges to put in
to test their durability. However, even after such rigorous scientific testing, the notes do apparently stick together. Meaning that it's, like if a shopkeeper gave you some notes, potentially he could, two of them could stick together, he could give you two. And they do start to melt at temperatures above 120 Celsius. So perhaps standing next to a radiator you would be okay, but I think ironing, if you leave a note in your trousers when you're ironing them, you could be in trouble.
You do, and
they're very difficult to tear, but if you get a little nick in them, they suddenly tear very, very easily. So apart from all of that, still much more durable. Final story this week. Newly elected Philippine president promises a medal to anyone who shoots a drug dealer. Paul, an election campaign is a long and difficult struggle.
It is.
The constant adversarial exchanges, the relentless media scrutiny of both yourself and your family, all no doubt would take their toll on a person, meaning that the relief and sheer jubilation that one may feel at winning an election would be something that is entirely understandable. And to get carried away under such circumstances would be almost forgivable. However, newly elected Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte may have gone a tiny bit too far. Addressing a huge crowd celebrating his election victory, Duterte pledged to reward those who abetted him in his war against crime, saying, "Please feel free to call us, the police, or do it yourself if you have a gun.
Wow.
You have my support." He went on to say that if a drug dealer resisted arrest or refused to be brought to a police station and instead threatened a citizen, "You can kill him," Duterte said. "Shoot him and I'll give you a medal." So that's the big stories this week. We'll start with
huge stories.
Big Mage back on the Brexit.
Big John, gloves off,
EU ref,
coming out swinging, taking zero prisoners.
Really quite a sort of. I mean, I've never seen John Major that impassioned about anything before.
No, he doesn't do impassioned, does he? That's his whole shtick, wasn't it? It was kind of being grey and non-passionate.
Yeah. And it was he was quite, he said himself, I'm angry at how things are being misrepresented, as he put it.
An angry John Major.
An angry John Major. I mean, the people that did Spitting Image are probably, taking the puppets out of mothballs. Because,
you think so?
I mean, he's giving them material, but he said, the policy on immigration is verging on the squalid, I think was his words, which is quite, strong.
Yeah.
And he also had a little kick at Boris Johnson, Ian Duncan Smith, and Michael Gove over the likelihood that they would protect the NHS. He sort of thought that was laughable, which is
fair play, Mage.
Yeah, he's getting stuck in. I mean, I don't know what's pissed him off, but and he also thought, and he sort of, I've not heard this particular fact being bandied around amongst the Leave campaigners, but apparently Sir John seems to be convinced that the Leave campaign are propagating the myth that if we continue to stay in the EU, we'll be flooded by 88 million Turks, which I love as a possible mythical stat, because the entire population of Turkey is 88 million. So it's like the idea that they would all leave.
Every single one of them.
Everyone leaves Turkey and just turns up. Would be so hilarious.
That's amazing.
But,
Stavros, let's go.
Let's go.
I'm tired of this land.
It's just brilliant. So obviously, I mean, fair play to Major.
Yeah, good on him.
On that,
good on him.
But I personally have not heard anyone say that.
I haven't heard. I haven't heard 88
88
million Turks.
No. So it makes you wonder in what circles is John Major? Is John Major really fraternising that he's being, sort of hearing about these sorts of things? But so that's Sir John kicking it. The next one, Paul, new fivers.
Oof. New fivers. Well, this is always a big thing in life, isn't it? When new money comes out.
I know.
I still remember. I remember old 5p coins. Remember them size of a dustbin lid, weren't they?
I remember those.
Giant.
I remember those.
The old
10p coins.
The old those enormous. Took two of you to carry one of them to the shop if you wanted to get some sweets.
I remember when the £2 coin came out.
Game changer. Game changer.
Yeah,
that revolutionary.
Two colours. This one, Paul. It's made out of plastic, which traditionally has been the medium of sort of fraudsters, isn't it? Like plastic money, fake money, or whatever. But now it seems that the government has cottoned on that it's actually better to use that.
Taking a leaf out of the forger's books.
Yeah,
why didn't we
exactly.
do this? This is so much
Why
better.
didn't we do this? It's easier to make. It's just better. So they've done this, but there's other countries that use plastic money. Apparently, like Canada, you have them. I think in parts of Asia, they have plastic money as well. And there's a lot of myths about it. Apparently, like if people thought if you washed it a lot, it would sort of lose its colour and stuff like that. And you thought that's a pretty the fact that those myths even start is a bit stupid in 2016, because you just sort of think, wouldn't people who are going to release money just have tested that?
Like no one thought of that. Like in a year's time, everyone's got these faded fibres, and they're just like,
I can't believe it. I just
of all the tests we did, we just didn't try washing it. We didn't think that could possibly happen. Damn it.
Yeah. And all the news stories this week were kind of, I don't know if you saw them on the TV, they were kind of, the journalists sort of putting them in a pocket and then ironing them and, doing all these stupid
all the really
household
realistic things you do with money. Yeah, no, best iron that.
I accidentally stuck this up my anus and look, it's still fine. It's still fine. It smells a bit shitty, but it's fine.
But just spend it fine. Still spends the same.
Good. So new fivers. I mean, I'm not. We've got until September to use the old. Well, no, I think we've got until
there's usually
next
like
year to carry
like
on
a time, isn't
using
it?
the old fivers. Yeah. The new one's coming to circulation in September, and we've got until I think sometime in 2017 to stop using the others. But people are sort of thinking, a fiver is going to become a collectible item like old ones, and you just sort of think, they probably will, but only if you're a tosser.
Yeah.
So
that's the only. You got to think who's going to collect
them if you want.
Idiots. That's who.
Exactly. The new one's got Winston Churchill on it.
Is that who's on it? Churchy?
Yeah, Mr. Church.
Nice. Is it the politician of a dog from the adverts?
I think it's a combination of the two.
Yeah, one's on the other side. That's yes.
Exactly.
Perfect.
And it's got that kind of like it's plastic, so it's got a lot of hologram.
Yeah, if you tilt
thing to it. Exactly. So it nods.
Yes.
And it's because obviously they've got to sponsor these things.
Exactly. Money.
Final story. It's money. It's all about money. It's all about the money. Final story, Paul. The Philippine president Mr. Duarte, getting a little bit carried away.
My people. Oh,
yes, he's elected.
What an absolute nut job. This is what will happen, though. This is why people should be scared of Donald Trump, because in countries around the world, these fucking maniacs get in, and then they pull shit like this, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's too ridiculous. It won't happen." People in these places think, "Oh, it's ridiculous. No one's going to vote for Duarte and his crazy kill all the drug dealer policies." They fucking well have, haven't they?
but it's more. I think it's more the fact that when these guys are sort of just, the Trumps and the Duartes, they're just running around in their countries saying ridiculous things. They're just fucking people saying ridiculous things. But the moment they get into elected office, suddenly the things they say actually, almost have the weight. Like they have a particular weight, and they could end up being carried out.
Yeah.
In laws or whatever, and it just becomes such a dangerous situation, isn't it? If the person with executive power is someone like Donald Trump, or in this case,
enormous, because
they just get excited and start saying stuff,
and that's what's going to happen. Like, America's going to bankrupt itself, building a fucking wall to keep out Mexico. There's going to be wars everywhere.
Exactly. What is he going to say? And also in international relations, I suppose.
Oh, Jesus.
Sort of thing. Oh my God, how many inadvertent wars are they going to end up in, and all this kind of hoo-ha. Fortunately for the world, I suppose the Philippines aren't a particularly militarist nation, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Not expansionist in the American sense, so we might be all right.
That's it.
So that's a bit top stories this week, Paul. I've actually got another little thing for you. It's a parallel universe story of the week.
I love these.
Where I slide down a wormhole into another parallel universe and just report back to you with some, news. And today, it's man ingesting ecstasy through anus discovers cure for cancer.
Nice.
And the research was funded by Nigerian President Wong.
President Wong of Nigeria.
Exactly. So that's parallel universe news. And then I thought, just to sort of, the yang to that particular
the yang to that Wong.
Yeah, the yang to that Wong is, just to show that, ridiculous things don't just happen in parallel universes. I've chosen oh my God, how does this happen in our universe?
Oh,
story
nice.
Of the week.
Bringing universes together. This is what we do here.
Universes together, uniting. And this is actually quite sad. This is so... In the States, it's been Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, I have seen this,
And there's just an article or a statistic that in Chicago alone, over Memorial Day weekend, there were 64 shootings.
Jesus.
And 6 of them were fatal. And I was like, that is absolutely astonishing. And if you go to the New York Times, they've got some kind of like interactive sort of map of it. And I've been to Chicago quite recently, and it's sort of and having a look at this map and where these shootings are taking place, some of them are really rather central. I mean, it's not sort of, a lot of them are where you would perhaps expect, like in the kind of deep suburbs, but a lot of them are really, really quite central, and it's you sort of think, bloody hell, that's like in London, just sort of, Tottenham Court Road. a big shoot up. It's and I just thought, that's incredible. That it's just normal that they just have that many shootings in America.
Remarkable, and particularly at a weekend when people are supposedly remembering people who have fallen in wars and died needlessly.
Yeah.
Yet, in the back of your mind somewhere, that doesn't kind of ring an alarm bell when you still decide to pull a trigger and kill someone. Like, that is. And 64 times, that's crazy.
64 times in Memorial Day weekend. So if you do get a chance, have a look at, I think it's on the New York Times.
Check that
have a look at their website. And it's quite astounding. So yeah, that's, oh my God, can't believe this happens in our universe.
Wowzers.
Story of the week.
Wowzers.
On this day in history, Paul, last week was the 30th of May, and you may remember the facts involved politicians who killed people in duels.
I do remember, yes.
Concerning their wife's good name. And fact number 1 was in 1745, Member of Parliament for Hackney and Bow, Terence Grantchester, killed merchant banker Ezekiel Gibbons. Fact number 2 is in 1806, future US President Andrew Jackson killed Charles Dickinson in a duel. And final fact was in 1869, French nobleman Laurence de Bouvier Lechamp killed fellow nobleman Henri Lazare de Mavignon in a duel. And you went for fact number 2, which
I went
was
with
Andrew Jackson.
Jacko.
And you were absolutely right.
Go on!
It was a duel in which, the man who later became future US president.
There you go.
Killed Charles Dickinson. But Dickinson, I think, was Jackson was a politician, but Dickinson was a bit more of a mercurial character. And from what I understand, kind of was asking for it. So... fair play to Jackson. He just shot him,
taking him down.
So that's Andrew Jackson, and further proof if ever it was needed that US presidents do tend to have a slightly violent streak, with a few exceptions, I suppose. But this week, Paul, it's the 5th of June.
It is,
and I must say, like when looking through stuff that happened on the 5th of June, a lot of things happened on the 5th of June.
Oh wow.
It's an important day for some reason in the cosmic forces or whatever. But a lot of things happen on the 5th of June. Like failing my memory now, but trust me, look it up.
Look it up.
There's loads of stuff.
One hell of a day.
And annoyingly, I couldn't use any of them really, because I had to use stupid things. And as a result, the theme to this week's facts, the theme to this week's facts are news networks that have mistakenly reported the deaths of old people.
Oh, nice.
So fact number 1 is in 1997, on the 5th of June, in 1997, Channel 9 in Australia mistakenly reported that the Queen Mother had died.
Oh, Jesus. Jesus.
In 1998, C-SPAN in the USA mistakenly reported that comedian Bob Hope had died. I don't know why it's in an Australian sort of accent.
It's the same reporter from
Channel
Channel 9. Before he went to America, made a new start at C-SPAN.
And in final facts, in 2002, NBC Europe mistakenly reported that media mogul Rupert Murdoch had died.
Oh, that was just wishful thinking from
everyone. So that's fact number 1, Queen Mother. Fact number 2, Bob Hope. Fact number 3, Rupert Murdoch.
Wowzers!
What do you reckon?
Well, usually I'll get a feel for one. One jumps out. This week, I've nothing's clear to me. So it's going to be a pure guess. They're always a pure guess. But this is a slightly purer guess than normal.
I mean, let's just sort of take a step back and acknowledge.
I think we're going to have to.
You're on a bit of a run.
I'm on a roll. This is for the hat trick.
I think you've got 3 on the bounce. Well, this would be 3 on the bounce.
This would be number 3 on the bounce. Now,
unprecedented in the history of
I don't think it's
this podcast.
I don't think it's Bob Oak. I think you got 2 chances there. No open Bob Oak.
Whoa, no way, Bob Oak.
I think I'm going to go Queen Mother. I think she was teetering. She was teetering on death for a bloody long time, wasn't she? She lived for
Queen
years.
Mama.
Yeah,
Queen Mama.
And you just imagine when someone's like the Queen now, they're going to have the same thing. Like they've already got a load of pre-built stuff for when someone dies, don't they? So they probably had all the Queen Mother stuff ready to go.
What, like the sort of the news
reports?
Like
a little montage.
I thought you meant that like they had stuff like ready for the Queen Mother, like, you know, when her arm fails, they had like a robotic arm ready.
They make
like when her eyes fail, they have these like robot eyes that they just put into it. That's what they're gonna. That's what it's gonna be like with the current Queen.
Oh yeah, she'll be 90%.
She's gonna go down fighting, man.
Oh
she's gonna be like a robot.
A brain in a jar.
Yeah.
Stored in a mechanoid that could destroy us all. And Charles just being really...
You're thinking Krang.
Basically. The turtles.
It comes down to Krang. It's such a class image of a evil person. But anyway, back to the facts, Paul. Back to the facts.
I'm going Queen Mother.
You're going Queen Mother in 97. Channel 9. Answers next week. Diary of Michael Gove, 5th of June, 2016. Removed John Major doll from wardrobe and punched 5 times. ate breakfast of muesli and water, dressed up neighbour's cat as Thomas Hobbes, took photographs, emailed to self, ate cheese sandwich and cracker bar for lunch, spent afternoon redacting EC treaty of sections that were lewd or ostentatious, sent copy to Boris along with picture of Hobbes' cat, ate dinner of baked potato and a can of tomato soup, spent evening watching programme about Caligula and masturbating.
This week on the Moss Report, I wanted to talk about that gorilla that was shot, Harembe. Harembe. Did you see that? The gorilla got shot.
I did. So, yeah. I did see that. Yeah.
Shocking, sad news. So what happened was a little 4-year-old scamp, probably mucking about, not paying attention, climbs into a gorilla pit in a zoo in Cincinnati, and there's a massive gorilla, like 400 pounds of this thing called Harembe. Which is an amazing, what a lovely name. Lovely, like an extra from The Lion King that didn't get used.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's having none of this little lad being in his den. So he starts tugging a little fella around, throwing him, ragdolling him. Literally, it's horrific if you watch it. All over the shop. It goes on for about 10 minutes. So I guess the zookeepers want to see how this is going to play out. They obviously get all right. This isn't good. I know, right?
Wait a minute. Give the little guy a chance to
give
fight
him a
back.
Chance.
Yeah.
You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen.
Turn it around at any minute.
So I don't know why, but yeah, they give it about 10 minutes, and eventually they're like, "Nah, do you know what? We should probably step in here." Yeah, they have to shoot the gorilla, shoot him dead. Now, obviously no one likes a dead gorilla. That's just one of the saddest things you can have in the world. So people wanted answers, or people wanted bloody answers. But luckily, all of a sudden, everyone on social media was a zoological expert. So they were quite lucky because there were plenty of answers around. Now, I checked obviously Twitter, in the news, lots of various message boards and stuff, and just people exploding with rage over this because no one wants a dead gorilla. It's too sad. So first of all, people were blaming the zoo, and it does seem like they were a little bit slapdash in all this, like 10 minutes. If
the 10-minute aspect is
like that baffles me, to be honest.
Quite baffling.
It's quite baffling because, and everyone was saying, well, why didn't they just tranquilise it? And I've got to be honest, that was my first thought. Just tranquilise the dart, yeah.
Yeah,
because I'm an expert in how you tackle massive animals. Well, my first thought was, why don't you just tranquilise it? Anyway, this fella from the zoo explained, he looked really sad as well while he did it, and he explained that we couldn't tranquilise it because the size of the animal, tranquiliser darts take like ages to work on him. Yeah, so, and in that time, obviously
they were already waited 10 minutes.
That's it, they'd lost that precious window. If they'd have done that right from the beginning, then it would have been fine.
The kid would have had oh my god.
Exactly. What is an incredible story. So they couldn't tranquilise him, and I was like, do you know what, that kind of makes sense, I guess. You know, it's a real sad thing that happened. Like a little boy fell in a monkey pen. A gorilla went a bit crazy and they had to kill a gorilla, and it's really sad. But it threw up some really good debates. But looking at it, I was like, well, okay, the gorilla's dead. It's a sad affair. Let's take a moment to reflect. Let's move on with our lives. But then I checked Twitter again, and Twitter made a really good point. The parents, finally someone I could be angry at over this dead gorilla, which is all we really wanted, is someone to point a finger at. And Jesus, man, this kid's parents are taking unbelievable shit online. So people just absolutely going mad at them, saying it's their fault for letting their little brat kind of climb off into a gorilla pit, and loads of people saying it's them, the parents who should have been shot, and not Harembe, the poor noble gorilla, which seems extreme, doesn't it?
Seems an interesting way to deal with the immediate situation. Yeah. If a child was being mauled by a gorilla,
kill his parents.
To shoot that child's parents probably wouldn't cure that immediate situation, but yeah.
but it removes any future situations.
Possibly,
I guess.
Possibly.
It's not. Everyone kind of came out and had a dig, and I'll tell you who come out and had a dig at his parents. Ricky Gervais. Right, Ricky Gervais. Yeah, he loves his animals, doesn't he, Ricky Gervais? He loves his animals. He's nuts about them. So he's come out though on Twitter and had a bit of a dig at the parents, and that really made me think, because I've got a 5-year-old boy, right, and he's a menace, right? He's an absolute madman, like 5-year-olds are. And although I like to think he wouldn't climb into a gorilla pit, I like to think that, or do something similarly stupid. Whenever I go anywhere as a parent, I'm always slightly aware that that's potentially on the table.
He could just climb into a gorilla pit.
He could. Like, there's only so much I can do to stop him. Anyway, so what I'm saying is I think, people shouldn't be so quick to judge the parents, because you don't know whether this is just one kind of unlucky bit of parenting or the climax of a long line of shitty parenting decisions.
Yeah. So the dad just threw a chomp into the gorilla pit and said, "Go get it."
Go on.
Can I have that?
That's yours. That is. Go get it.
There's your Christmas present. Go get it.
So it made me think, because I really like Ricky Gervais, and I'd be really sad if he had a pop. So that kind of made me think, because no one likes a dead gorilla. And I guess the thing with all of this that's been most interesting is people just had loads of rage and were really sad and angry, because it's noble, beautiful gorilla. And I fucking love gorillas. They're awesome, aren't they? You look at them and they're majestic beasts. And it's really sad that one had to die. But I think rather than just pointing fingers and being angry at everyone, probably just chill the fuck out. Maybe just not wait 10 minutes next time, I think would be the most sensible thing. Well, I mean, I did see this story, and obviously it is it is a tragedy. Yeah, that's it. I think it's just one of those things. It's just a really sad thing.
It's very, very unfortunate, and no one comes out of this feeling particularly happy. But I mean, and that's the nature of a tragedy. I mean, it's not a tragedy in like the sort of Greek sense, like no one's fucked their mum or anything, but
not that we know of.
But it's an actual tragedy.
Yeah, it's a dead gorilla.
Something rather unforeseen has happened. Yeah, and it's ended up with a dead gorilla, presumably of a fairly endangered kind.
Yeah, apparently
as most gorillas tend to be. And but yeah, who would have predicted the viciousness of the gorilla lobby? I mean,
they are. You don't want to piss those guys off. Like the animal like bunch in general are just fucking hell.
Well, the gorilla lobby, mate, seem to be as vicious and ferocious as the gorilla itself.
Yeah, or gorillas with a U, like militants. Like
guerrillas.
Gorillas. Yeah,
guerrillas.
Guerrillas.
Guerrillas. But an unfortunate story, and probably not fair to lambast the parents too much. But I guess I don't know anything about the situation, and we don't know how it happened. I mean,
you do wonder how a kid gets in there. Like,
how does a kid get in there? I do feel that if the zoo are not taking the, and excuse the pun here, the lion's share of the blame, they fucking should be, because I mean, why does it take? How does a kid get into a gorilla pit?
Yeah, apparently he had to like climb over, and he could like slide under a gate or something like that.
It shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, it shouldn't be happening at all.
A 5-year-old kid or however old he was, he shouldn't be able to do that. And number two, it shouldn't take him 10 minutes to get him out of there. I mean,
like, just make a decision. Outrageous. Like, surely, because they were like, we had to do it because the gorilla could kill him at any time. Well, why did you take 10 minutes to get to this point?
I mean, it's almost like they took 10 minutes to realise that. Yeah. Like, no, it's not. What? No. And then they sort of called into action. But yeah, so I feel that they should probably. Yeah.
And of course it poses the further question of animals in captivity in general. I suppose if you didn't have zoos, then it would never happen, would it? So.
True. This is true.
Well, that's this week's Moss Report. Take that, gorillas.
Welcome to the new sound of LBC 97.3. Beginning a new era for London's biggest conversation.
Hello listeners, I'm former Sun editor and the sand in Liverpool's vagina, Kelvin Mackenzie. And continuing my series of interviews with local politicians, today I'm talking to the Chancellor of Hortonfield, the Right Honourable Chiltern Bexby, OBE.
Hello.
Chiltern Bexby, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Tremendously excited to be here.
OK, let's cut through their shit, Councillor. You've been involved with the Hortonfield Local Council for how long now?
It must be 30 years.
30 fucking years.
30 years, yeah.
And what's happened to immigration in Hortonfield under your dutiful bloody watch?
Immigration?
Yeah?
I don't think I understand. I mean, it's not...
Well, let me tell you, Bexby, it's sky-sodding rocketed. Now, what the hell are you going to do about it?
I'm not sure it's skyrocketed. I mean, we do have one African family, but they've been in Hortonfield for nearly a decade now. I mean, the Quenbes, they're a lovely family.
There you have it. Hordes of Africans invading Middle Britain, setting up shop, probably stealing, taking our women, pissing on coppers.
That's not what I said at all, Kelvin. You can't.
You couldn't do anything if you wanted, though, could you, Bexby? I understand. You're powerless, aren't you? You're powerless. You're an impotent old man in an impotent old council. You can't do a thing.
Well, as I'm trying to explain, Kelvin, there isn't actually anything that needs doing.
And there you have it from the horse's mouth. Hands tied by Europe, Bexby, I understand. Hands tied whilst a wave, a tsunami of immigrant scum drenches the British countryside.
Now, you listen to me, Kelvin. That's not at all what I've said. You're being quite contrary. Pardon my French.
Whoa. Don't bully me. Don't bully me, Councillor. I won't have it. I won't have it being bullied by you. You be civil or you get out. Simple.
What? Now, Calvin, this is getting very silly.
Well, don't bloody apologise, Bexby. Just answer the bleeding question.
I'm sorry, what question?
The sodding question, Bexby. In or out?
Oh, Europe. Oh, well, I mean, I suppose this has had its flaws, but the only sensible thing one could say would be in.
In. Is that right, is it? And, how long exactly is it you've hated Britain, Councillor?
I love my country. I've served it all my life. And as a country, we are stronger with allies than we are alone.
Oh, OK, I get it. I understand. So you're a coward. Is that it? You're a coward, yeah? That's what you're saying?
Absolutely not, Calvin. What I'm saying...
What you're saying is, Bexby, hey, lazy terrorists, fancy a free house and a world-class education, well, come on over. The door's open. Let me roll out the bloody red carpet and stick the bleeding kettle on for you.
That's a dangerously narrow-minded viewpoint, Kelvin.
Thank you.
The Europe United opens opportunities for all of us, makes us richer in both economic and cultural terms.
Nazis.
I'm sorry, what?
Nazis. Bexby. Nazis from Brussels. Nazis from Brussels telling us what we can and we can't do. Is that what you want? Is that what we fought for? To surrender our rights to Nazis like Merkel and her cronies?
Well, actually, I did fight, Kelvin. I was in Normandy in 1944.
Good. So you know what I'm talking about.
No one knows what you're talking about, Kelvin.
And there we have it. A war hero being forced to give up the country he fought for to a European super elite.
Oh, goodness sake, I've had about as much as I can take. That's not at all what I've said. You're a liar.
Thank you.
And this interview is over, Kelvin. Goodbye.
Oh, Chiltern Bexby OBE there supporting the cause to keep Britain great and close the bloody gate. Next up, we look at new evidence supporting the theory that 9/11 was really perpetrated by a group of dirty scousers.
Sports this week, and now the back pages and the front page have all been dominated by one story over the last couple of days, and that has been the untimely loss of the great Muhammad Ali. The heavyweight boxer finally lost his well-publicised battle with illness, succumbing to natural causes at the age of 74. Ali was always much more than just a boxer and was arguably one of the most important global cultural figures of the 20th century. His fight against racism in the US and his indefatigable soul and spirit won him fans and admirers the world over across myriad languages and cultures. Ali truly was global, and the loss that is now felt is indeed global too. So just tipping our caps there to the great man Muhammad Ali. Great man.
arguably, and I mean this wholeheartedly and complete seriousness, maybe the greatest human being who's ever existed.
Well,
I think there's an argument there, and if not Ali, right, then who would take that? I think he was just phenomenal.
I think that he's definitely, in my mind, he's up there in the sort of this kind of, that pantheon of legends of characters from the 20th century who really are who did sort of leave an impact on the world, and I put him up there with Gandhi and JFK and people like that. I mean, he is that important.
Absolutely, yeah. He is. He's that absolute kind of top tier human being, just remarkable. And I'm well aware I'll be the 11 billionth person who used the phrase "transcending race" in the kind of description of Ali since his death. But it's true. He broke barriers and stuck to his rights and always managed to entertain and get people on side, and was just phenomenal guy to watch. Go back and watch those Parky interviews and Jesus,
just watch anything. I mean, it's kind of it's very rare that you get this combination of someone who's physically so imposing and also so charismatic and intelligent.
That's it.
And politically aware. Yeah. And all of that at a time.
Such strong moral fibre as well. I mean, to have all of those things and have the kind of character to back up everything that you say as well. Just surely missed.
Big time. So that's the Gristle Digest tipping our caps to the great Muhammad Ali.
I am the greatest.
Douchebag Sportsman of the Week, Paul. This week it's a guy who I think will feature quite frequently in the weeks to come, and that is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And that's for his kind of douchebaggery in courting the media this week, amid speculation that he'll be playing for Man United next season. So that was the first reason, and secondly, for rejecting Tottenham when they approached him. Like
how could he? Why would he not want that?
Yeah, right. It's a bit of I concede it's a bit of a flimsy segue into talking about Zlatan. And that was all I was looking for, because I just wanted to sort of draw your attention to some of the more ridiculous things he said in the past. So I'll start with one comment. And he said a lot of things. He's quite well known for it, isn't he? He's
he's got a reputation.
Exactly. So firstly, when he was struggling to find a new house in Paris, he said, "When we're looking for an apartment, if we don't find anything, I'll probably just buy the hotel." Like a smug shitbag. Oh. Secondly, when speaking about what he would get his girlfriend, who ostensibly has everything, as she's a footballer's girlfriend, he said, "Nothing. She already has Zlatan."
Oh,
again,
wow!
More smugness.
Lucky lady.
Swede there.
He's a handsome guy.
In a really complimentary comment about fellow footballer John Carew, he said, "What Carew does with the football, I can do with an orange," which is odd. I'm not sure what Carew does with the football.
Is that a compliment?
Yeah, I don't know. It's not. It's me taking the piss.
Perhaps John Carew can peel and eat a football.
Who knows?
That's what could have happened.
Yeah. So
Big Carew.
that's Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and that's just a little taster of what we've got to look forward to for next season, Paul. Because he's going to probably play for Man United and be full of shit.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Fun times ahead.
And unlucky boss of the week, Paul, is I've picked him this week as it's an opinion really, but it's England manager Roy Hodgson, who will have discovered after a brace of international friendlies this week, or over the past week rather, that in fact any hopes that youth may prevail at the coming Euros would be at best misplaced, at worst embarrassingly delusional. Paul, we've had a couple of games, haven't we, over the past week or so, and it's just we've not exactly lit the pitch up with inspirational football, youth,
I tell you
and
how
vigour.
Bad we were in that Portugal game. Although he didn't play, Jack Wilshere was one of the better players.
Wow! And
when you're in a situation in any kind of sport, when Jack Wilshere is one of your better players, you're in a world of trouble.
Exactly, especially on the eve of a major tournament. I mean, and I think we spoke about this before. We were saying, like, with a young team, you sort of want all the good things that you get with young teams: dynamism, cutting edge, vigour, pace. But instead, all we got was all the shit things you get with young teams:
inexperience, lack of confidence,
no ideas, no discipline. Passing, and
giving the ball away.
It looks like a portent of doom ahead of the Euros, which start in a week's time. So that's annoying. But and poor old Roy. I mean, would he be able to keep his job if we smacked it hard in the Euros? I think probably not.
If we won it, maybe.
If we won it. If we won it. I'd love to see it happen. I'm not sure it will.
I'm a little bit worried about the group stages.
Yeah.
I'm really worried about the Wales game.
That Wales game looks nasty, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm really worried.
We'll see. And that brings sports to a close this week. I haven't got an audio Instagram.
I've dug deep into the world of audio Instagrams.
Excellent.
And I've had a look around to see if I can find something
excellent,
something different, something we've not done before. So I went to the page of Kanye West's audio Instagrams.
He never does
it. And he's never done it. He's never done it before. And it's a picture of him and Jay-Z looking into a mirror at each other.
Nice.
With the hashtag Bromeo and Juliet.
Oh, I love it.
And that's it. It's a moving image. Go on the internet, find it.
It's hip-hop, it's politics, it's homoerotica.
Yeah, it's everything.
And that's how I would describe Kanye West, those three things.
Definitely.
So that brings this week's show to a close.
To a conclusion.
Please, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your comments and everything that you sent to us in the intervening time. We always appreciate that. Do follow us on Twitter at Gristle Digest.
Do it.
If you listen to this, you probably know where to find us on SoundCloud.com, /Gristle-Digest. You can also find us on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. And always check out our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. No one subscribes to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. We have
that. What's that?
Loads of fun videos on there. And if you listen to us on iTunes and you like us, do express that opinion through the medium of kind of stars and rating and all of that sort of thing. Please do that because it makes us feel nice and warm and fuzzy inside. But thank you very much. See you next week.
Ta-da.
I've been in the right place, but it must have been wrong.